Is your car suffering from premature window ejaculation? Well, at Yogi's Garage, we're here to help. And I've got just the procedure to get your car working to your satisfaction. So why spend thousands when I can get you going for less than $5? All right, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started.
Hey, what is going on? We are back with Yogi's Garage, and I've got a good one for you this week. As you saw in the intro, I'm dealing with a micro switch issue on the passenger side. A few months ago, I replaced the door regulator, but one of the things that I did not address at the time was the issue that you saw where when you open the door, the window should drop a good half an inch to clear the lip of the convertible top. And what you're seeing is that it lowers the window, but the moment you let go of the handle, it rolls back up even though the door is open. So it's almost like it does not know that the door is open. I'm not really sure what to look for, but I'm going to start by taking the door panel off and inspecting all of the micro switches involved with the process of getting the top down, which includes rolling the windows down, because I think that's what it's all related to. So let me get the door panel off. I'll bring you back in and we'll take a look at where the micro switches reside in the car. Before you do anything, if you haven't done so already, be sure to get yourself a workshop manual. I got mine from a company called eManual Online, but there are a few vendors out there that will give you something, and then I printed it up myself. You won't get anything that's printed out for you already, so I wouldn't hold your breath. All right, so what I did is I printed up the lining and insulation steps to get refreshed or reminded on how to take this thing apart. But it's pretty straightforward. You gotta pop out a few little plugs like the airbag as well as the light. There's a couple of Torx bolts in there as well as a Phillips. And that's it. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna need to get behind the airbag, but if I needed to, of course, you need to disconnect the battery and wait about 10 minutes before you touch the airbag. That way you reduce the risk of hurting yourself or blowing the airbag. And of course, before you get started, be sure you get yourself some plastic trim tools. These are no-brainers, but in case this is new for you and you're just finding my channel, be sure to check out the affiliate links below. And I have a lot of my tools that I use on a daily basis listed, and they're from Amazon. And these are tools that I've used, that I'm currently using, and the channel benefits from that in case you buy it. All right, so with my panel trim tools, you obviously want to pop out. Like I said, there's a bolt in here, and there's 3 in here. You'll have to take this trim piece off here as well, so that it pops straight up. There's a Bowden cable right here that it connects to the handle that we'll have to disconnect. And if you're like me and you're working with very rare colored leather, you want to be extra careful here not to scratch it or damage it. All right, I'm gonna use a different panel tool. I'm gonna pop that out, and then I'll bring you back once I have the bolts taken out. Okay, what you're looking at there is the micro switch. Reach that. So you can hear the door, the window going down. Now on the door itself, there's another micro switch right here. So when you pull the handle, you hear that switch pressing, and that works. So something is failing to tell the control module that the door is open. Because if you open the door, the window has to drop and stay down. So that's the issue, is that it's not staying closed. It's not staying down when it should be. Okay, so whatever it is, I think I found it, and I was right. It's in that mechanism. So what I'm gonna do is reach in there, and be careful not to cut yourself here, but there's a wiring connector that goes in right here. And there's another little tiny 2-wire that goes in there as well that connects to a micro switch. And I just touched it a moment ago, and it actuated the door. Okay, so looking at that right there, where my thumb is at, there is a wire right down here, and look. So there's a short in this connector somewhere. So let me see if I can fix it. So here's the connector right here, and I don't see, anything weird about it. Like no frayed wires or anything. So what I'm gonna do is just use some deoxit on the connectors. See if that fixes it. All right. Now I said deoxit, but I have a couple of different variations here. And here is electronic cleaner. This will do the same thing. And that schmutz there is...
I think I can smell shite.
Assembly grease. I'm not sure how it got on there. All right, so I'm gonna take care of that. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere. I can recreate the issue by just wiggling the wire, see? See? And see, now it's down. All right, it's an 8mm triple square here. Shouldn't be much to these. They're little short bolts. I'm gonna finish pulling this out, and then I'll put it on my workbench and we can see if we can find the problem. Okay, so the door lock is out and it is just going crazy, see? So I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely in here. So I may need to replace that, but I want to see if I can inspect the wires here and see if there's anything that might be causing it to touch. But if not, then this guy's got to go. All right, I am up on my workbench here in the Yogi's studio. And for those of you who don't know, I have another channel that I run as well called the Yogi Collection, where I talk about collectibles, and mainly collectibles around automobiles, obviously. And so I've been collecting a bunch of different types of scaled cars, including Hot Wheel cars. See this right here? So if you're interested in learning the history of these cars, why they were made, and why I collect them, be sure to check out my other channel, the Yogi Collection. All right, so what we're looking at here on my workbench in Yogi's garage mode is the components of the door lock actuator. And it should sit like this, right? And it goes into the car. So I took it apart because I priced this thing and it is really expensive. You can get the driver's side door lock for less than $200, but you can't touch the passenger side door lock for less than $300, if you can believe that. I don't know why. So that just kind of rubbed me wrong, and I went ahead and said, if it's only a micro switch, well then let's figure out how this thing works and see if we can identify the issue. And guess what? I did. All right. So I took this thing apart, and so what you're looking at here is a combination of the electronics and the mechanical components of this thing. And so when I separated it, and then I disconnected everything and took the top off, you can see the control module. And what I noticed was that there's a micro switch right here that's clamped in. I took it out already. That presses against this little wheel here that there's a little cam lobe that pushes against this micro switch. And this micro switch, like I mentioned earlier, is very similar to the ones that are in the door. And it failed over time. It became unglued a little bit, so it made it a little loose, right? And then at the same time, the plunger itself, which is this right here, this plunger, it works. It works great. The problem is, look at it. The plunger is really, really worn down. I mean, the car is almost 20 years old, right? So I suspect that this is probably going to happen to a lot of cars out there if it haven't already. And hopefully this video adds some value, because You absolutely should not have to buy an entire $500, $400 door lock actuator to fix a flippin' micro switch, all right? So that's what I want to do here is fix this micro switch somehow, either replace it or add a little bit more material to the tip right here to get it to stick out a little bit further. But the bottom line is that I'm not going to have to replace this whole assembly for this little 2-wire micro switch, all right? So let's go ahead and see what my options are. So a couple of years ago, I had an issue with Pepper where the door lock mechanism was not unlocking. It wouldn't open the door. So that needed to be replaced. No doubt the whole mechanism needed to be replaced. And guess what? I kept it. Yeah. So I don't need to swap out anything but the micro switch here. So all I got to do is take this guy out, and I just saved myself hundreds of dollars. And this is why I don't throw away anything, really, because you never know when you might need something inside of it. And look, it even has the VW stamp from Porsche. Let's see if this one's got it too. Yep, exact same one. All right. I'm not entirely sure why the passenger door lock actuators are more expensive, sometimes 2 to 3 times as much. My only guess is that they don't break as much because obviously you don't always have a passenger. That's what makes sense to me, so they don't have a whole lot on the market. I don't know. That's the only thing that makes sense, because they're identical other than being reversed. I'm hoping that micro switch is in good shape.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
You know, I think I should be able to get the micro switch out without having to take this thing apart. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Come on. Oh, man. Oh, man, this thing looks more worn than the other one. Yeah. Farts. I shouldn't have canceled that order. Well, so much for that idea. I mean, I can probably replace it, but I think I'm going to be in the same boat with this stupid plunger.
One eternity later.
So here are my choices. So instead of buying the $666 part from Pelican Parts or wherever you want to buy it, which is, you know, both components, just to get this silly little micro switch, I did some research. Some other folks that ran into this a few years ago. They went to a particular place to get the micro switch, and then they just wired it into the board. Well, I wanted to go a different way because I took these things apart like you saw, and these little pull-up clips here are really easy to pop up and swap out that plunger. The idea is, though, you got to find the right part. And it's been a few weeks, and here it is. 2 weeks later, well, about 10 days from TEM or TME, it's TME. And they had the part that I needed. And I'll put the part information down here at the bottom of the screen so that you can see what you need. It's time for some surgery, Yogi MD style, mechanical doctor. You ready? Let's fix it. All right, so I want to pop this open and get one of these micro switches out. I bought a handful. I think I bought 6 because I'm going to be replacing these for my friends if they need it. Now, there's a huge difference between just swapping out this micro switch and swapping out the whole assembly. This here, you ready? You sitting down? This whole micro switch, bottom and top, $2.17. Yeah, I know. So that's why I'm like, there's no freaking way. I do not see the value of buying this whole thing, especially since it's way overpriced because the driver's side is 5 times cheaper. I had to do something about it. So here we are. I have the part. Let's swap it out. So there's 4 tabs on this micro switch, because the micro switch is actually two parts. There's the wired in part. It also has the custom adapter for the Porsche door latch assembly. So you just want to pop this off. And the easiest way to do it is to get a really fine jeweler's toolkit set. And I'll put this one in my affiliates link. It's really nice. Let me find the entire thing. Here it is. This is it right here, V-Man. And my wife got me this for Christmas. And it has all of the bits that you will need in this nice little carrying case. So check out that on my affiliates page. All right, so you just want to, and I'm going to get my little magnifying glass headset in. You've probably seen these on your Instagram feed. They were real popular around Christmas. And what I want to do is just get my blade under and just sort of push it off. You know, you want to just lift that thing off. Let's flip this guy around. And there you go. Here's the original plunger all by itself. Here's the lower part. Fully functional, nothing's broken on that. And then let's do the same thing on this switch here. So I'm just gonna hold it right here. And just come in, under, pull down. Come in between, under, pull down. Then, it's way easier to get them back together. Okay, and there. Now, take your original part, place it in the right direction. The plunger is away from the wires. You can put them in either direction, it just won't work. And then check it out. Such a satisfying noise. And then, yeah, look at that. Brand new plunger, a $2 component. And look, there is a significant difference between the tops. So yeah, that's what caused the issue. Let's go put this back in the car. But first I have to reassemble it. So since we know it's the micro switch here, it is unnecessary to take this thing apart. So as you saw, I put it back together off camera and then reassembled this whole thing so that you don't need to do that. And then it snaps back into those two holes there. And then the overall assembly is locked into place with this. So this goes in, oops, like this. That's right. Through this way. See? Keep pushing it in until it clicks in. There. And there you go. You are in. There you go. If you're wondering what this is what connects to the door handle. And it's basically, you lock it in, you drop it in there, and then you pull the sleeve up, and it locks it into the handle. And when you pull the handle, that activates the whole thing. Okay, dudes, we are fully assembled. Let's go put our door back together. All right, we're back with CK out in the garage. I have my air conditioner on. It's like 101 degrees out here in Houston. I'm so glad I got that mini split. There's no way I could work in here if I did not have that. And then of course, this insulation that I put in a couple of years ago certainly helped. And both my Porsches are in, protected from this sun. Okay, so now we want to get this thing in. And just remember that the Bowden cable comes out through here because that's what connects to your door. And it's pretty simple. And what you want to make sure you do is you pull this down. And if you forget, it'll just be kind of a hassle to do it while it's in the car. But all in all, it should be okay. And it goes like this. So here's the door, right? You can see the opening. You can see the opening right there. There's that opening. They'll come together. The Bowden cable snakes through there. And then the handle for the door. Okay? So I'm gonna put you down, but I'm gonna snake it in this way and get the boat and cable out that way. But I'm gonna put you down because I want both hands and I don't wanna scratch myself up. Okay, I wanted to pause for a second so that you could see where I'm at. So I got the thing up and over the side crash rail, and now you'll see it in there. As you can see it partially in there. And I'm just gonna slide it across that support beam and then line it up right there. Okay, so I got it started. You don't want it fully tightened in yet because you need to plug in the connector to the control module. And then of course you need to reattach the handles. So you want a little bit of wiggle room in there to give you as much play as you can manage to get. And of course, like I said, this is why you need to be careful because look, those lines on my forearm there, I mean, it's just these edges here are really, really sharp, so just be careful. Okay, and then there, that threaded little piece right there, I'll put an arrow, that's what connects to the door actuator. So I wanted to show you that, and then you're pretty much done. Reconnected, you can see, and I will probably not be able to demo it for you because, okay, I'm gonna do it with my mouth. Okay, got everything going around. Hey, there we go, look at that, magic. Okay, now I just gotta do the connector. Okay, here we go, the big test. Oh. Hey, look at that. Dude, $666, well, $664 since I saved $2 on buying a whole new actuator. Crazy. I'm gonna look at myself in the screen because my hair's a hot mess. So there you go, folks. That is how you take care of a door lock actuator. Save yourself hundreds of dollars. Follow these steps. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Subscribe to my channel. And I'll put more of these videos up so we can all save some money together. All right. With that, see ya.